Hello, thrill seekers, and welcome once again to another episode of Life, Love, and Conservation with your host, Carolyn Hennesy. That's me. Welcome once again to the Flop House. That's where we are. And I don't know if you can see this individual right here, but this is Buster the Wonder Cat, who has decided to come in and invade the space. And what Buster wants, Buster gets. And it's interesting because I really wanted to show you what I'm wearing, but I can't, because Buster says no. I will say that it's a shirt. Okay, all right, you want to go down? Fine, go down. Okay, so it's this. It's really fun. I'm going to see if I can kind of get up here and show you this shirt. This was made by a fellow named Chris Kiszka, Kiszka, and I believe his website is Bodyguard. So Chris Kiszka at Bodyguard, and he was a vendor at MidSummer Scream last week. And now that ties in very, very well. It's actually the reason that we're here today, talking about horror once again. MidSummer Scream, for those who don't know, is this convention that basically starts off the haunt season. And it's August. So we have a few months before Halloween and now, but for those who love horror, first of all, the season is year long, but it really starts off with MidSummer Scream. And this gentleman has these wonderful shirts, two things I love, horror and tarot. So you can see a little bit. This is Bela Lugosi as the Emperor. And I got another shirt from Chris Kiszka with the creature and his bride, the bride of Frankenstein, as the lovers. Funny stuff. He's got Herman Munster as the fool. So check him out because his work deserves recognition. And again, we are talking about horror. I think it was last episode we talked about the horror or the dark side, which can become horrific, that we find in ourselves, in our own little noggins, and how we have to acknowledge that. But what about the horror that is external to us? The Vincent Price movies, the suspense thrillers like Alien or Jaws, or any of these little independent horror movies that I've been watching so many of. What is it about the train wreck that we cannot look away? So I went to MidSummer Scream, and at the behest of our dear friend, my producer Eric, and my friend Norm Gidney, who's also a big part of Life, Love, and Conservation. So we tip our hat to him. But he invited me to MidSummer Scream, and I went, and we had a wonderful time, kind of walking around, seeing a lot of the vendors, but then going into one of the haunts, because they have little mini haunts. These are just little appetizers for what is to come in October. And yeah, I went through, and yes, I got scared. I've been through a lot of them, but I got scared, and I loved it. Why? Interesting. For the love portion of Life, Love, and Conservation, this episode, we talked to one of the greats. We talked to Zombie Joe of Zombie Joe's Underground Theater, whose show in North Hollywood at Zombie Joe's Underground Theater on Lancashire premieres tomorrow night, his one-man show. But we talked to him about why we love horror so much, what it does for us. I vent some of my theories, and he answers, and he comes back with some of his own. So it's really, really exciting. And then we will come back for the conservation segment, and producer Eric and I have some sad tidings and some glad tidings for you. So enjoy the first two segments, and we'll be back with you. Hey everyone, Carolyn Hennesy here. Welcome to another episode of Life, Love, and Conservation with your conservation host, me, Carolyn Hennesy. Today, something really exciting. We are at MidSummer Scream here at the Long Beach Convention Center, and I am starting my journey, my sojourn here at the Horror Buzz booth with my dear friend Norm Gidney. If you want any information about what's going on in the world of horror, this is where you need to go, horrorbuzz.com. Remember that. So we're going to, and Norman's manning the camera, by the way. So we are going to start we're taking a little walk. We're gonna go check out what's happening here at MidSummer Scream, because let's face it, Halloween's only a few months away, but it's perfect. This place is crowded. Fascinating to me how many people love horror. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to get some no, it's my fault. See, it's crazy. We're going to get some man on the street interviews about what people love about horror. But first of all, let's take a look at some of the things that they've got. And what's interesting is that for so many people, this is their life. This is what makes them tick. This is their raison d'etre. They love any and everything horror. They live for it. They live to display. They live to buy the crazy shirts and the buttons and the tchotchkes. You know what I saw here today? It's hilarious. I saw dog bowls that were placed into wooden Ouija board planchettes. It's hilarious. I may get some of those for the dogs. So, like, let's see what we've got. Look, we've got Christmas horror over here. Let's just set that out, on Halloween. Shout out to anyone, first person who can tell me what pattern is this. Right? Little Shop of Horrors. If it can be construed as scary in any way, it belongs here at MidSummer Scream, and it probably is here. Now, what we're going to do now is make our way over to the where the haunts are. Now, for those of you who don't know what a haunt is, you ain't never been to Not Scary Farm or to Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. This is where we are. Okay, this is where we're going. And the haunts, I did my first haunt here 5 years ago, and it was terrifying. Now I'm like an old pro. I'm just an old pro. But the Oktoberfest, and in there are people, they can't touch you, but they've got what I think they're called sliders, and they've got these knee pads, and they'll slide on their knees and sparks will fly up. And there are people who will there's a school. You have to go to a school to learn how to be a good haunt actor. I think there's a term for it. Is there a term for it, Norman? Is there like...
Well, I mean, slider.
There's sliders, yeah. But then there's also the people that jump out at you.
Oh, yeah, those are scare actors.
Those
are haunt actors, scare actors.
Take a look at this. Just take a look at this row. Okay, now all of these, right, are for sale. With my luck, somebody's going to be in one of these and will, leave it. They're all for sale. You've got model makers, you've got mask makers, you've got costume makers, there's a guy who will come to your house and set up a whole Halloween special effects with, steam and smoke and fog and strobe lights, you name it, horror-wise, and it's here. So, are we going to go in, Norman?
Well, this is actually just a display.
Oh, this is a display. Oh, this, but in there, right?
But, that is out to the lobby.
Oh, yes.
That's Monty Travolta.
Monty Travolta.
He's amazing. Okay. This is just a display for the LA Haunted Hayride.
Do we have a haunt here today?
Turn around. The Hall of Shadows.
Let's go. See, take a look. All these masks. It's just amazing. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Let's see if we can get over and see her. Fantastic. For some people, Halloween's all year round. Horror is an all year thing. Of course, we think about it most at Halloween, but it's an all year thing. This is the Hall of Shadows. Are we going to go in, Norman? Here we go. So we're going to go into a haunt called the Hell Hotel. Stay with us. Oh God. Oh, we're getting this on camera. Ah!
Let's go! Would you like a haircut? It couldn't hurt.
A little too close of a shave for me. Yeah, that's fun. People love this. Yes. Hey, Carolyn Hennesy here. Segment number 2, Life, Love, and Conservation. And now, once again, we are at MidSummer Scream. But we're going to talk about love with regard to horror. So I am sitting here with Jana Weimer, co-creator, director of Urban Death, and the man, the myth, the legend himself, Zombie Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is basically the walking embodiment of Urban Death. So, you've got Zombie Joe's Underground Theater, which is on Lancashire in North Hollywood. Just go. Whatever's playing, trust me, just go. Steel yourself, where it depends if you need to, but go. So I've got a question for you, my old friend, because we've known each other a long time.
A long time,
Yeah,
like
indeed.
25 years.
Yeah, seriously.
By the way, you look great, Carolyn.
Thank you so much. I dressed up for MidSummer Scream. As you can tell, this is the most horrifying thing because, I mean,
Is that as high as you can lift your leg?
Why?
Yes,
That's a good
why?
question.
Why do I do this for walking around a convention floor?
By the way, congratulations on your Emmy.
Thank you.
think
Thank
that's
you so
awesome.
much. Congratulations on your new and upcoming one-man show.
Yeah.
So
Thank
my
you.
general question to you, okay, go see it. My general question to you both, what do you think? We've talked about the lifestyle of horror and how this is, for so many people, this convention is like an everyday occurrence. They live, eat, and breathe horror. But why do you think people love it? They love it. What does it touch kind of in the soul? What does it touch down deep? What's your perspective on
Well, growing up like a nerd loser, like I can really relate to the. I feel like it's a kind of a nerded out sort of community, and I can totally relate because like we're total. Jana Weimer's like a genius, like gorgeous genius nerd, and I'm sort of like a bopping around, like bag of hammers kind of nerd. So together it works out pretty good. No, it's really like everyone's like for the most part really nice and friendly, and it's like a really just a real fun fan base, and also. You like yourself as a almost like a scream queen, like a little more distinguished queen.
Getting to be.
And great job in The Nun, by the way.
Thank you.
Totally awesome.
Thank you
And
so much.
and with Norm and stuff, it really kind of makes it all worth it. And our group is just this is our family and stuff. And yeah.
Why do people love horror? I think real life is just so horrifying anyway that it's like a safe scary, it's a place where they can like release all that like real fear into like safe fear.
Safe, scary.
Yeah.
That's fascinating because everyday life can be absolutely, utterly terrifying in a way that can harm you.
Right.
Really harm you.
Right.
But this, it's fun.
Yeah.
Fun to go to the edge, not be harmed, and walk out the other side. It's almost like you get to do like a victory lap after a haunt or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Because you survived.
Well, if there was time, like the thing is, like there's no time. We're on to the next show, so we would normally like celebrate, but there's no time to celebrate or mourn because we're on to the next thing. But like along what you're saying, like we were talking about this, like it's so expensive these days to live. It's almost like not worth it. It's like almost like You know, it's like, do I really want to like?
Keep going.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh God, like, do I really? Is it really worth it? Is it all worth it? But
There's the oven. There's my Glock. There's some cyanide. What am I going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll take the Glock.
I listen. You can borrow mine. You can borrow mine. Just leave your fingerprints all over it. Yeah, I think I was thinking about horror coming down here, and I think for me it's the conquest of a fear, but then the conquest of something like really deep within you, and then so you come out the other side, but you've activated all these synapses and neurons, and your adrenaline is going, and yet you remain safe.
Yeah.
You've touched something really primal. You get to. You don't have to. You're not forced to. You get to, with something like this.
Yeah.
And I think that's, for me, why people love it, because I think we're like deadened. If we took in all the horror that we are exposed to every day, the network news, the cable news, the homeless that you see.
Two McDoubles for $3.99.
Two McDoubles for $3.99. It's horrifying. It's horrifying. No.
Used to be $3.50.
Right. Right. That 49 cents. Glock, oven, or cyanide.
That's right. I'll take the oven.
Yeah, that's right. Now you want to take the oven. Okay. All right. I just think it's you get to love it because you get to live that adrenaline rush without fear.
Yeah.
True fear. The fear of survival.
Yeah. I mean, that's why people love roller coasters. It's the same thing. Like, it's like safe. And the people who don't realize they're safe are terrified. Like, actual fear, like, actual fear of your life. It's not fun. So.
What got the two of you into this genre, though? I mean, the fact that you're a bag of ham.
Well, we were talking for a while, we had been working together for a little while, and we were talking about doing like a real horror show and something new and different. And so I think it was just that quick. We just got together. It's interesting too. Some of the original casts are here right now. Denise Devon, Tracy Cisneros from the very first Urban Death that we did, but. It's not hard to remember. Maybe Janet can remember the process in the beginning because it's very similar. The Urban Deaths now are very similar to the first, like as far as energy and like just the style and the energy and the feeling. I think is very similar. So I'm not sure how that all came. I think a lot of it was a 7-person cast, and Tracy was the clown exactly like this in the first Urban Death. The same makeup
People have to get a load of you.
And
come sit right here, if you will.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Just you know what? Just look pretty.
So, I think we wanted to do a horror show that was like that kind of covered all aspects, like all different types of horror and how to present it, like. That was fun and exciting and like in a new format and stuff, I think.
But you could have done, a Busby Berkeley musical. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like you could have done, but horror just drew you, and it's always drawn you?
I think it, I don't know.
For me,
how it went?
I mean, I this is how I remember it. We did kind of like something Urban Death-like, but not horror for like the NoHo Arts Festival street performance.
You remember
there
that?
was like a zombie piece in it. There was like a scary piece in it, and I just remember him after that coming to me and saying we should create a horror show together.
Yeah, because people respond.
Yeah,
it's a visceral thing.
And for me, it was if you've been to ZJU, it's the blackouts are completely black. Which
yes,
you don't,
they are.
They're like pitch dark, and you don't ever see that anywhere.
No.
And so for me, it was like, wow, what we could create in that, the people have no idea what they're going to see when the lights come up, and that's for me where it was kind of born of the
partnering
darkness.
with the darkness.
Yeah,
it's like a character in itself.
That's brilliant.
what did I come? I came to see Blood Alley, right?
Yeah.
And vignettes, scenes, sometimes no talking, no sound, sometimes yes, or grunting, or other bodily functions happening. And you don't see anybody moving in the darkness, and it doesn't at all take you out. Because when you see people moving in the darkness, it's like, okay, actors are now going to perform for me. But if the lights just come right up, you're literally watching a street scene of something.
Yeah.
Awful.
You know, we're about in a little bit. I know you guys are busy, but this Urban Death is absolutely magnificent, and it's 18-minute convention sampler, and we'd love for you to see it if you can. And it's you know, you can sit way back here if you like, or we encourage you to sit right at the caution tape. But it's literally going to happen in a little at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Please come, and
Okay.
it would mean a lot to us.
All
I know
right.
Norm has been like.
Yeah, we will.
Really trying to like your best buddy. By the way, you and I share like our buddy
the
here.
love of Norman. Yeah.
But I think he'd give me up for you in a heartbeat, though. I think so.
No. Oh no. That's a flat out no.
Yeah. Oh, Carolyn, also your house is beautiful.
Thank
I'm meaning
you.
to tell you, it's
Thank
really
you.
gorgeous.
Thank you. Maybe we should do an Urban Death at my house. or maybe it's entirely possible. Maybe. Okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
She's
of you.
nice.
Hi.
You're so sweet, Carolyn. You're really sweet. Super sweet.
Yes, that's the facade.
Are you guys hungry or thirsty? Or
Yes. Yes. Yes.
we have like snacks that
I'm looking at
Gray's
him. I'm
on.
looking at
Yeah,
him.
yeah, help yourself. 'Cause
But I just want to
No,
say
take
thank
home.
you both so much for talking with us today.
Of course.
All right, my little podcast.
And congratulations to going General Hospital. I think it's
Thank you.
really wonderful.
Thank
you.
you.
Know?
Yeah, it's the gift that keeps
Your
giving.
wardrobe is
Trust
do you
me.
get to keep those
sometimes,
pieces?
Sometimes I just do.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, I just do it. If you see me in a suit, it's pretty much Diane Miller suit.
Check out her shoes too.
Yeah, sure. You show those off.
Ridiculous
Oh my
thing.
God.
You know,
Nuts wearing those to the convention.
The cloud is making all
don't
these.
think I'm not regretting it. Anything for fashion. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank
All
you.
right, and we're going to stay for ZJU.
Yeah, we're gonna yeah.
3:30 and 4. We have 3 more shows.
Okay, we're not going to film any of it because you guys have to go see it yourself. It's as simple as that. All right, so.
Hey, hey.
Hey. It looks like you've had so much fun.
I know. And you've got to come down from
Yes.
Seattle for the actual haunt season, because if I get that scared, 4-minute haunt, just
Oh, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun.
then I scream like a little girl because I
Oh.
become a little girl. Crazy. But again, so much fun, and I think what Zombie Joe said was so interesting. I still do feel that it's a primal thing, and we get so much joy out of going through something, be it we're watching it on screen, we're going through a haunt, and we get through it and we survive it.
What I think is so funny about Zombie Joe is, for someone who loves such scary things, he is so sweet.
It's alarming how normal and generous and sweet and mild-mannered this wackadoodle is, because I remember my first Zombie Joe's Underground Theater performance. The first thing I ever saw was called Urban Death, Blood Alley. And I thought, I'm not going to make it through the night, because what I was seeing was so grotesque, so horrible. But the interesting thing is that he doesn't rely on, aliens popping out of stomachs or vampires or drinking of blood, et cetera, et cetera. Every scenario that he puts up in this series of short, sometimes without sound, without speaking vignettes, for every one of his Urban Death shows is based on reality. These could all happen, and have, and do, and will continue to happen. And that's what makes them so horrifying. But I remember my first one, I couldn't speak. afterwards. And now we saw an 18-minute version of what's coming up at ZJU, Zombie Joe's Underground Theater, ZJU Theater, and I was sitting there like, oh, the lights are going down. What's next? Oh, the lights are going down. Oh, yeah. So I have become acclimated to it. Is that good or bad? I don't know. Speaking of bad, for conservation, let's talk conservation, shall we?
Yes.
Producer Eric, let's talk. Let's start with the bad news.
Yeah. So
you sent me a meme.
Yes, I sent you a meme that was haunting me, and I had to have it haunt you too. So
yeah, definitely.
But that meme was that every plastic fork you've ever used still exists.
Still exists. Still exists. You can't recycle them. You throw them in the garbage, and they're all still out there. So that's billions upon billions of plastic utensils in the landfill that will never go away until, the continents are subducted back down into lava. Then and only then.
And so it really got me thinking that, I got to walk the walk,
we all do. We all do. But let's not forget, it's not just plastic utensils. It's cups.
Yes.
It's plastic plates. It's plastic, bags, if you don't recycle them. Anything that's plastic, styrofoam. It's all still out there.
Yes.
So we start today.
Yes.
Start today with our conservation tip, and that is, we still don't want to bring out the good silver. We don't want to bring out grandma's good silver to the picnic or the barbecue.
Yeah.
So what can we do? There's a company called Ecovita, Ecovita, and they make corn syrup based products.
Yeah.
Corn, non-GMO corn, grown in the United States. Thank you, flag waving, patriotic and eco-friendly, because what is it? How many? They'll break down in how long?
2 to 4 months.
2 to 4 months.
Yeah.
They will break down in a landfill in 2 to 4 months.
Yep. Or you can put them with your compost too.
Say that again. What?
You can actually put them in your compost too at home, and
you can put them in your compost, right? And they turn into soil.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So let's start with silverware, cats and kittens. Let's start with that.
And
don't buy the solo cups or the whatever it is, knives and forks. Buy these. If they're slightly more expensive, suck it up. I'm going to suck it up. And you know what? People say, oh, actress. Oh, television money. Wrong. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. By the skin of my teeth, I'm hanging on. But I'm going to go and buy these. Thanks to your meme. So we'll probably put that meme up, in the show. But think about it. All the plastic everywhere that we're not able to recycle, and even then, a lot of it doesn't get recycled. Our recycling has been cut down because China's not taking our recycling anymore. Bad.
Yeah, and we can't change what we've already done, but we can change what we do tomorrow.
No, we can't. We can hope a volcano kind of springs up and just sort of decimates everything, and the lava flow is just contained into a little pool. We can start volcanic soil, very, very nutrient rich.
Yes, very nutrient rich.
But let's start today. And you can look up on Google, cats and kittens. You can look up,
on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon.
Eco-friendly utensils.
Yeah, from Ecovita. They're the ones that I like just because they kind of tick all the good boxes. So
that's right. They check all the good boxes. Speaking of good, we've got some excellent news. We have news. This is the kind of thing that makes me cry.
Yes, out of Nepal. Where, thanks to conservation efforts funded by zoos, funded by amazing conservation heroes, the tiger population in Nepal has doubled. Has
The
doubled.
wild tiger population in the wild has
Yes.
doubled.
In
They
the-
went from like 155,
Yes.
155, and this was how many years ago?
I think 10 years
10
ago.
years ago?
Yeah,
It is now up to
330.
330. It's more than
Yeah.
double.
Yeah,
More than double.
it's so cool. It's so amazing.
And that's thanks to everyone who has ever contributed a dime to a conservation effort. Truly.
Yeah.
Who has put money for conservation efforts into the church choir box at your
Yes.
local.
Yes.
Put a dime in. You have saved a tiger. Put $1 in. You have saved a tiger.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
And we're finding these success stories more and more,
Yes.
and more. It thrills me, and I know it thrills you, Producer Eric.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we have to give conservation tips and why they are necessary.
Yes.
But to be able to say, here's a victory. Here's a victory.
Yes.
Because again, when we save the animals, we save ourselves. When and things are starting to disappear, 150 species a day we lose. Sometimes it's just an amoeba. Doesn't matter. It's important. It was put here for a reason, and we're losing them. But when we start losing the big game, the metaterrestrials, then we are simply not far behind. We're just not far behind. Now, there's a lot of people I could see go, okay, that's fine. Doesn't matter. Right? Should I say
Yeah.
that? Yes, of course, it's my podcast. As we all have people we could just go, okay, bye. But most of humanity, they just want to wake up every morning, live their lives, feed their families, and pet their dogs. But when we start losing animals, they're all going to go. Everyone's going to go. We're just not far behind. And what kills me is when we start losing the genius that humankind has created, the great works of art, the great works of music, the great works of architecture, literature, cinema. They're going to be lost.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter that we sent a capsule, out into space with Chuck Berry on it. That's great. So far, extraterrestrial life that we know of has not responded to Chuck Berry. Maybe they would respond if we sent out the Mona Lisa, but we're not going to do that anytime soon. But it's all going to be lost. It's going to be lost. So that's the thing that really, really kills me. So yay, Nepalese tigers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay to the WWF. Yay to the AZA. Yay to everyone who supported them.
Yeah. Get involved with your local zoo, cats and
Yes.
kittens. See what you can do. See if they've got international outreach programs or even domestic conservation programs. Get involved, volunteer, even if it's once a month. They will help you. You will feel great about yourselves, and the animals will love you because they will know. So thank you, Producer Eric, for another wonderful show.
Always my pleasure. I've been
All
glad to
right.
be here.
All right.
I will bid adieu and let you say goodbye here.
I will. Okay. Yes. And thank you once again for tuning in, stopping by the Flophouse and joining us for this episode of Life, Love, and Conservation with your conservation host who lives and loves. Carolyn Hennesy, that's me. So we will see you again on the next episode. Eco Vita, get those biodegradable utensils if you do nothing else. Okay, and go watch a good horror movie.